Well, hello. Sorry, I'm a little late, but welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We paint pieces here. I paint all sorts. I paint all sorts of stuff. Eventually, we're gonna paint that skull back there. There's some skulls under there that are for it's like Halloween stuff, Day of the Dead kind. So, but we're gonna get around to that eventually. It'll be fun. I usually try. Hello, Curry. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was busy reading an article. Sometimes you just get broke off on something, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to read this article real quick, and then I'm going to jump on there, and yeah, I got I don't know, I got broke off in it, and I had to read like 2-3 times. Anyway, I got some coffee. Because, my world runs on coffee. So we're back today. We're gonna work some more on our lion boy. He's over here. He's a big old dude. So we're working a little bit more on this guy today. Trying to get this ready. So I'm guessing we gotta get started. Pick up some music and get that rolling. Now see, I was just using my phone and I got there we go. Okay, so today's music is from Cyber Guy Audio. I like his stuff. He's looking for more subscribers and stuff like that. So if you like the music you're going to hear today, definitely go check him out. Cyber Guy Audio. It's pretty cool stuff. I enjoy his stuff. For this kind of work, it's interesting. I like different music. For different stuff, and like trap music and stuff like that is easiest to paint to me, or things that don't have a lot of complexity lyrically. Like I love to have songs that have complex lyrics when I'm driving down the road. That's what I like to listen to then, or like if I'm chilling out doing nothing. But I love instrumental music, any kind of instrumental music. It doesn't have a lot. I gotta think about what they're saying, when I'm painting, or the absolute opposite. Somebody talking about history or something. I listen to a lot of when I'm not streaming. I listen to a lot of history and lore of different stuff. Oh, so anyway, I think I'm finally waking up here. I'm about ready to rock and roll. I slept in today. It's the simple stuff in life. Yes, I like the simple things. I love good music, though. It didn't even actually have to be that good, honestly. I just like music. Okay, well, enough of me rambling. There's your pre-show. So we're gonna flip over to the painting camera. It's kind of all jacked up. I was experimenting with it last night. So, I'm always trying new stuff. Alright, so we were in the middle of doing all this crazy dry brushing yesterday, which we definitely need to get back into now. So you still have just a little bit to do. sometimes you don't notice until you let it set up, and you gotta come back. And that's a little bit what happened here. Once it's set up, you could tell where the stuff got missed. You need to get a little bit more, a little more love, a little more love. All right, let's see. I love dry brushes because they're like kind of designed to be, you're designed to be a little bit more resilient and take a little bit more abuse. So I feel kind of like we're kindred spirits, because I'm definitely the same way. I'm a little bit more able to take a little bit more abuse than most folks. Physically, I don't handle verbal abuse very well. If you come at me like that, I'm probably gonna come at you crazier. Because, you know, I'm that guy. Please go try Jesus. Don't try me, because I'm going to fight you. I am definitely that guy. Kind of keep working on building up these colors and these layers. We may even come back eventually on this one and do some streaks, some by hand. A few of these little burrs. It's hard to see them until we started getting paint on it. There's a couple little pits in it too. And those are just imperfections from the printing process. I definitely could have taken them out had I noticed them. But again, like I said, sometimes you don't notice that stuff until it's too late. And you're already putting paint on it, and you're like, oh, goodness. And it's definitely not something you would notice unless you're really looking at it. Now we've got commercials that make you have to listen to them all the time. You can't use ad blockers. You have to pay for no commercials. The poor Mathis guys. We've been watching those guys sell furniture. Now I think they're now heading to like their third generation. Hawking furniture, man. Yeah, with that white on there, it's really starting to look primo. Hey, McBidgley's here. Happy Friday, friends, he says. Happy Friday to you, sir. Cruising along on this beautiful Maine. You guys got like hair for days. Yeah, we definitely might be coming back through here and doing a little bit more like individual strokes with some of it. This will be a pretty decent start. Some of this may need these little thicker pieces like right here where there's not a whole lot of definition in the model itself for the dry brush to pick up on. Is kind of where we're going to want to bring back in a brush and maybe run a couple lines of yellow over top of it, just to kind of break up the color and to help sell a little bit more of the illusion. And that's the thing with sculpting is you're trying to create this illusion of movement or realism in a hard substance, a figure that's a physical substance, you know. And there's our made tendril. We made this one here to hide the big gap. There's a big gap there. If you didn't see that in the earlier episodes, we hid that with another hair tendril so that you couldn't tell there was a gap in the model. Oh, and I started to work on the Mary sculpture yesterday. It's going to be an interesting couple of rounds for that one. We're going to release it as like a full-on breakdown video, how we did it, how we went about restoring it. It's too big to do on the deal. McBeardsley asks, any cool weekend plans for anybody? Well, we have a double header tomorrow night for the boys. Two of my boys, the ones that play soccer. Still, my oldest one doesn't play soccer anymore, but he did. But anyway, my middle boy and my youngest boy are gonna go play soccer, and one of them plays at 6 and the other one plays at 7. So we've got a double header. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get to see both games back to back, so it'll be fun. Pretty excited to see them play. I'm always excited to see them play, though. I love watching my kids play soccer. McBeardsley says very solid, very solid. It'll be cool. It'll be good. I'm also probably gonna work on that Mary some more. I want to get it kind of in and out and gone. Just because since I'm not going to be working on it the slow pace, the camera pace, because this camera pace is slower. But I'm going to a small festival in my town. Oh, cool. What's it a festival for, if you don't mind us asking? That's right up my alley. I love that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, that Payne's gray was the perfect underneath. It worked out. It's working out really, really well. Maybe this is coming just a touch higher. That thing is so stinking big. Yeah. So yeah, I'll work on that Mary some more. I'm kind of hoping maybe we'll have a video for it up by sometime next week. But I don't know that I'll be able to paint it that fast. It's going to depend on it getting set up. It was shattered, so I'm having to kind of mess with it. I think the client said the lawn guys ran into it, and it looks like a cast piece. You can see where they put the plaster in the cast and then removed it and sealed it back together. So should be pretty easy to fix. We're gonna gap fill some of that stuff, and then we're gonna come back and paint it afterwards. So should be cool. I'm pretty excited. Beardsley says, I've been trying to get the girlfriend to go with me to the farmer's market. Even bribed her with brunch. I have a strong distaste for brunch because of having to work it so much. Yeah, brunch is actually my favorite. Both to eat and work. I love good brunches. I love working brunch. Which farmer's market are you going to try to go to? The big one over at OSU or the one downtown? There's a couple decent sized ones. Oklahoma's got a lot of farming areas, so we got a lot of farmers markets. We got one here probably, I think, for tonight. I think they do farmers market here every Friday night in fabulous Choctaw, Oklahoma. We will be skipping that. It is so much hair. Oh my gosh. Hair so nice I had to brush it twice. Yeah, I like the farmer's market too. Although now I grow my own stuff, so I don't have to worry too much about the farmer's market. Kind of the advantages of having an acreage, I suppose. This year's crop was pretty good. I think next year we'll do a little bit better. I got some better ideas about what the timing needs to be on what needs to go in the ground when, and yeah, that sort of stuff. I wouldn't have, Beardley says, I wouldn't have minded brunch if they had didn't tack on top of the regular full menu. Just creates a bit of a headache. I've cooked breakfast food more than most things in my career. I want to go to Newcastle's farm market. I heard it's pretty good. I don't know. I haven't been to Newcastle's market, but yeah, trying to cook the regular menu on top of a brunch menu is brutal. That's rough. If you're gonna do brunch, you really should just do I mean, you can do a selection of stuff from like the lunch menu, but you shouldn't run the full lunch menu on top of the other one. Yeah, that's my whole brunch experience. Yeah, that's not the way you're supposed to. That's not the good way to do it. You should always kind of run. It should be a brunch menu, and that brunch menu should include the lunch things. And then if somebody's got a special request, then it's not too hard to take care of. Like, oh, I really wanted this one thing off the lunch menu. Yeah. As long as it's not something super involved, you just kind of take care of that as it comes. Because most people, when you don't give them the option, they'll choose something off of that brunch menu. But the second you give people the option to make you do extra work, people are going to immediately go like, oh no, I want the steak. No, not the steak and eggs. I want the steak that's like the full-on pounder steak that takes an hour and a half to cook while I had to try and time out all these people's eggs. You're insane. No, it's not going to happen. I'm going to fall asleep to this now. I really need some sleep. Well, definitely get some rest, especially if you've got a festival to go to this weekend. You better get some sleep there. Everybody's got to rest. You can't go for too long without sleeping. You'll go crazy. McBeardley says, yeah, it was full lunch menu plus all day menu plus brunch menu. Yeah, no. That's a bad idea. You're really just asking to break people down. Your cooks are going to start disintegrating mentally and physically. They're just going to get overworked and overwhelmed, and people are going to get irritated. The customers aren't going to be happy because none of it's going to come out good. Yeah, it's just a bad idea. But, this day and age, it's all about what people want. So there's no... We've taken the customer is always right to an extreme, and it's not been yielding great results, if I'm honest. It's why a lot of restaurants are they're collapsing nowadays. I mean, if you don't have the money to keep yourself going, you're just collapsing because then you can't keep up with these demands that these people place on some of these restaurants. They want to have everything. And this little mom and pop joint can't afford to comp you 17 jars of ranch. They just can't. They don't have they just don't have the ability to do that. They're not going to have enough people coming in the door that only want the one to make up for your Captain Insano. I have to dip every single leaf of lettuce in my salad in the ranch and eat it. Or whatever they do with that much ranch. I still don't know what they do with that much ranch. Honestly. The folks out here, man, they're addicted to that stuff. It's insane. Ranch dressing. I wanted to take buttermilk and mayonnaise and herbs and pour it all over everything I eat. Probably put it in an IV is what Nick Beardsley says. That's oh man. There's times I wonder, bro. There are times I wonder. I think you remember when I was teaching school, I banned ranch. You couldn't use ranch on the final in my kitchen. In my class, you had to come up with something else. Couldn't be ranch. So much. I've had so many different types of ranch. No, but my ranch is different. My ranch is different. No, it's not. It's not different. It's mayonnaise and buttermilk and herbs. Again, you can't. Come on now. And the herbs need to be pretty much the same, or else it's not going to taste like ranch. So Your ranch can't be that different. But it's an avocado ranch. Yeah, but avocado doesn't really taste like much of anything. Yeah, I remember the ranch rant. It's McSpiritly again. I made a golden beet vinaigrette and remember getting bonus points on that one. Yeah, golden beet vinaigrette. That would be a good one. That would be big kudos. Because that's thought out. You know, that's like... You know, there's something thought out there. Color, form, different. It's something different, you know. At least you were using your noodle. A lot of folks didn't. That's okay. Most of them aren't doing anything with that degree now anyway. So, all works out. Yes. He's looking great. I'm really excited about this thing. You gave us golden beets and 90% of people just cubed and sauteed it, and I saw that. Yeah, okay, I remember. It was one of the mystery basket items. Yep, I remember that. Somebody ordered them thinking that they were going to use them for something, and then it went nowhere, and it rotted in the cooler. Or it was starting to go bad in the cooler, and I was like, man, we're going to use these things up, I swear. Yep, and that's how it always goes. Some other chef would buy too much of something, and that was what ended up being the mystery ingredient. Alright, here in this little hole, I'm just going to paint this section with our Payne's gray. Just to make sure it doesn't show underneath that armor piece. We don't want it to show any of that. It's the resin gray. Well, I guess at this point it's the primer, but whatever. You know what I mean. I don't think you're going to see much of it. Just a little bit back here in this corner, huh? Same thing with this one. Beardley says, I don't remember the others, but the golden beet was the standout. I haven't used one since. Yeah, they're not super, like, common. Yeah, that works. Now you can't really. Really need to get that arm done. Ooh. That looks so awesome. Okay. Set him down for just a second. Get a little coffee. Cheers, everybody. I like a golden beet, though. They're really, really good. The way you should do them, though, is you should poach them, and then, like, then you deal with them. Because then, if you poach them, it takes a little bit of that dirtiness out of the flavor. And you can also add flavor to the poaching liquid. And then you can like grill them, or you can saute them, or whatever. But I remember I used to love to throw beets at students in Grand Manger because nobody would think to cook the beets all the way, and so I was always eating like hard-ass beets, and that way I got to like, you served me a hard-ass beet? Are you serious? You thought serving me, of all the people in this building, a hard-ass beet was going to be a good idea? Who told you that? Who made you think this way? I used to love to just terrorize students. But you got to get people ready. Like, I think some people misunderstood what I was doing. And some people were like, oh, he's just mean. And I'm not actually that mean. I'm not a mean guy, really. What I am, though, is you paid me to do a job. You're paying me to get you ready to go be in culinary school. And from culinary school, you're out into the world of the culinary field. So, like, you're paying me money to do this. You've asked me to get you ready. Well, somebody's got to play the villain, because that's chef world. That's what it's like. There's chefs that seriously are the villain. You know what I mean? They're grumpy. They're angry. I mean, even if they don't necessarily want to be, a lot of times they don't even realize that they're being that way. But like, you got chefs have a lot of responsibility on their head. There's a lot going on, and so like, yeah, chefs are gonna get grumpy, and some chefs are just assholes. Like, just in general, as people, like that's their personality, is an asshole. You know, and for whatever reason it be. And so you gotta get people ready. You know, and you caught me in private and asked me questions when we're not having the big deal. It was a whole different deal. You were prepping them for what it was like on the line. I was fortunate to be working in a restaurant while I was attending, and things were easier for me on that end. Yeah, once you're in the real restaurant world, you understand that it's, you know, these people are not, they're not there to hold your hand and coddle you. And like, and I understand trying to make a environment of learning and all that, and I did, but by the time the whole college in general did. The thing was, by the time you got to me, you'd been there for a while. I was like the halfway point. So once you got to me, you needed to be getting ready to go out into the world, because there were only a few more in-school classes before you'd go out on extern. And so like, I gotta get you ready. You paid me the money. You asked for this. And people were like, "Oh, you're mean." I'm like, whatever, man. If you think that's mean, just wait. Just wait. Those chefs are not gonna be nice to you. That's not how that goes. I feel like it's on the other side. Well. The second verse, same as the first here. Really trying to just pick up the tops with our yellow. You go over here before you get knocked around again. He Beardsley says, "Yeah, I've met some crazy chef in my brief 10 years on the line. One of my executive chefs was actually bipolar and intentionally pitting AM shift and PM shift against each other for the drama." Oh God, that's just awful. And that's not a typical chef thing. That's just bad management. Yeah, and it probably had something to do with his illness. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the other people around you, really. And they're not learning anything. They're not gaining anything about it. You know, like, okay, I could be mean and kind of cruel to people occasionally, but I'm also going to sit there and build you back up. You know, anytime I was tearing you down on something, I always had some things where I would say, okay, this stuff here, though, this is where you need to be going. This over here, bad. This is not the way. But this over here, this is the way. And that was what I tried to do. And again, like, if you weren't in my class at the time, you know, and you were trying to ask me questions, usually my first response was, "Where is your chef?" Why aren't you asking them these questions? And if people found that to be like rude or whatever, it's like, okay, well, you definitely don't have a thick enough skin to deal with customers. If you can't deal with a simple question in the hallway when you decided to stop somebody that was on business. But I don't know. It's a new world, man. Things are changing. Things are different. I know I'm the old school. I completely understand it and I fathom it. That's part of why I'm not going back. I think my style of leadership isn't conducive to the new folks coming through the industry. They just have a different kind of mindset, different kind of look on things, and I just don't think it's for me. Plus, the customers have just gotten so awful. People are so, I don't know, the invention of Yelp and everybody gets to be a critic really changed the world of food in not good ways. Because now you got laymen out there trying to tell you this restaurant's bad because whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, their lasagna wasn't as good as my grandma's. And it's like, well, okay, Brenda. Apologize to anybody who's actually named Brenda out there listening. I'm not talking about you. But okay, so your grandma, who loves you, made you a lasagna, and it was amazing. And this restaurant, who is trying to make money to pay its employees its bills and try to scrape out maybe a 5% profit, didn't make it as good as your grandma who loved you. Okay, well, think about what you just said. And really think. You know, Grandma, she's going to put 40 different types of cheeses in there, pounds of it. You know, it's going to have all the meat in the world in there. As much ground beef or sausage or whatever it is that you want, it's going to be in there. And it's going to be tons of it. You go to a restaurant, these people they have a budget to maintain. They have they've got to keep food costs in line. They can't just make your grandma's lasagna because it's not profitable. You know what I mean? And you allow anybody to talk about things that go on in an industry that they don't truly understand, and you're going to create a problem. And it's probably any industry, and you start talking too much about doctors, and if you don't understand the medical industry, yeah, it's going to get weird. Beardsley says, yeah, I've expressed my irritation with customers, but I know I've been professional and respectful. It's really hard sometimes, though, especially when people want hummus at a pizza shop. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, they got hummus at this one pizza shop somewhere. And it probably was a Mediterranean pizza shop, or maybe even kind of Middle Eastern guys running it, you know? And they had hummus on there because they love hummus. So they have it, that chef or that owner or whatever, they make it there and they just decided to sell it because they love to eat it. And so it's part of their shtick now, is this hummus. Well, now you go down over to this Brooklyn guy, and he's going to be like, hummus? Why in God's name would I have hummus? This is a pizza joint. And you're expecting something from somebody, again, it's just not feasible to expect that. Or like I had a couple of people that came in that I'm an influencer on Instagram, and you're like, okay, and they're like, you should comp my meal, and you're like, huh? Why would I do that? Well, I'm gonna write you a review and and I'm like, okay, what publication are you with? Oh no, I'm just me on Instagram. Okay, how many followers do you have? Oh, a couple hundred. Listen, lady, I've got a couple thousand. Why would I want to comp your meal to reach a couple hundred people when I can reach a couple of thousand people on my own? And then they get irate and write crazy ass stuff about you, and you're like, holy Moses. It's just a different it's just a different place now. And I get it. And I definitely understand the whole idea of getting maybe just a little too old mentally for it. And I think that's what happened. I think I'm too old for it now. Even if they get this thing in my throat to stop and I can go back, I don't think I will. Oh man, I remember that whole fad. I feel like, this is McBeardsley talking, I feel like that may have died down a bit, or I just don't see it on my algorithm. That's the crazy thing about like being out in Choctaw. It's like all of these people are like 20 years behind everything. 10, 15, 20 years behind. So like anything that was popular like 10 years ago in the main cities of the United States, it's just now getting out here into this part. And you're like, holy crap. Like, they're still out here listening to Party in the USA like it just came out. And you're like, oh my god, y'all. It's only been out for a minute, man. I guess they have to listen to that now because they can't listen to who's the other popular singer girl, Taylor Swift. So they went back to Miley. Even though I think Miley may even be more political. Oh well. It's a crazy, crazy world. Somebody ought to sell tickets. I'd buy one. Our music got turned off. What happened? I know we didn't get to the end. That was like an hour long. That was weird. My muscle in my left arm keeps twitching, and it's like making this thing shake. I'm like, which part of me is shaking? I can't figure out what it is. I'm like, I didn't even drink that much coffee. I just keep having like a muscle spasm in my arm. It's weird. Getting old is strange. And I beat my body up when I was younger, so I'm definitely like, I'm like on the mileage of a 50-year-old at 45. Put like 5 more extra years of mileage on me. I'm like, eesh. Maybe more. I used to get in a lot of bad situations physically, trying to help people or fight people or just car wrecks. I'm in a lot of car wrecks. Too many. Most of them not my fault. I even had one guy hit me with a car when I was a kid. I hit by a car. So I guess I'm probably more like rocking the body of a 60-year-old. At least my bones and my muscles, tendons are that way. Plus, in the chef world, you work nothing but overtime. It's all overtime. It's just because you're always there. Celery sucks. Back on the farmer's market talk. Yeah, let's talk about something like bright and cheery, man. The restaurant industry is not. Let's talk about farmer's market. That's cool stuff. I mainly wanted to go for honeys and homemade jams. I love going for local honey products. Yeah, local honey is the way to go because those bees are going to have they'll create those natural antihistamines for the pollens in the area. There's a really great guy up this way named Cody. And he's got some great honey. His bees do the business real good. His product's always nice and clean. Does a good job. So shout out to Cody and his honey. Such a strange little fur thing going on here. Some sort of swirled fur pattern. Beardsley says, there are berry farms out in Hull. I assume they'll be selling good stuff in Newcastle since it's town over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of those guys will have like the whole family's involved. So like maybe this person may be at that farmer's market and another person at another farmer's market and selling the products. That's typically how that goes. Okay. So much hair. Oh, it's going to be nice to have it all done, though. All I really got to do is do those lines on the front of this, and then the lines on this guy over here. A little armor work, and we're in business. And the face, we're onto the face. And I guess I got to buy this file. So I can print off that hand. I suppose I could stall a little longer if I really wanted to, but I don't see why. Yeah. Yes, it's looking fantastic. McBeardley says, I would love to get into raising bees as a hobby and a way to repopulate the local areas. I love bees. We see a ton around my mom's magnolia tree when it blooms. I have pics. Yeah, they like magnolia trees. Lots of easy, readily available pollen. Those magnolia trees are gorgeous too when they're blooming. So pretty. So pretty. Definitely don't discount this color fade, because it seems like you could just go straight to white, and I'm telling you, it will not work that way. Your white will look weird. It will not. It won't look like fur. It'll look like synthetic hair. Hair has like a depth of color because it's catching lights. Hair is very reflective. All right, that's exactly what we wanted. Hair's a little bit whiter than everything else to make sure it looks different. Yes. I like looking at it on the camera. Sometimes I miss things when I'm looking at it in real life that I see on the camera. That's pretty cool. Looking good. Okay. Oh my god, I get to put the striper down for a little while. Yes. I love this dry brush, but good lord, that's been a lot of time dry brushing that thing. 2 episodes, it seems like. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some coffee real quick. Cheers again. Oh, that weird muscles going crazy. It's really strange. Okay. Yo, what is it, butt? Kitter. He back there meowing. And leaving. He just came in here to tell us all he was here. Cat's kind of an asshole. It's like a fuzzy. What is that? Huh. I have no idea what that was. It wasn't a hair, it wasn't a brush, it was some sort of weird particle. You can see it jiggling from my arm spasming. It's kind of funny. It's like a legit hole in it. We might even have to fill that with like a gap filler. That's super weird. Let me think. The easiest might be to do a little sprue glue on it. Won't take much but a dip. Just a tiny little dot. Alright. I'm gonna let that dry, let that harden up, and that'll cover that hole. I have a beholder I need to paint. I'm unsure what color it should be. So beholders are crazy. That's actually my favorite. It's my favorite like D&D creatures are beholders. So no one beholder looks the same. And if it did, then they would kill each other immediately. Not that beholders wouldn't try to kill each other immediately anyway, but beholders that look too much alike have like a serious problem with each other. They're also not like, so like beholders aren't like born like a normal thing. There's no like mommy and daddy reproduced me. They're born out of the dreams of other beholders. So like some beholder has this dream about another beholder, and then that beholder comes screaming into existence because the other beholder believed it existed. Which I honestly find like absolutely fascinating. If I were going to be painting them, though, I would probably... A lot of them are reddish color, like a reddish, brownish color. But I really like the ones that are like, you know, purple or... I've never seen a green one, really, that was painted. I've seen them drawn, but I've never seen anybody paint a green one. That'd be pretty interesting. Death Tyrants are all white. That's a different, specific kind of beholder. Just goes to show how interestingly powerful they are. And another one of these extreme powerful readings of life. Green. God. That's so funny and terrible. That's, yeah, that stuff's gonna harden really fast. That bit of plastic. Like it's already, you can already paint right over it. Okay. Alright, now we're just going to bring some white kind of over the top of it in the most raised areas. You get, like, especially in this part, we're really trying to help those, get those brush strokes to help kind of make some hair looks like it's flowing. Giving it a little bit more yellow in here in this front part is going to help that too. And really, yeah. Kind of come in and get any of these spots. Maybe we're just a little too far down. Yeah. And of course, I'd probably paint a blue beholder because I like blue, but they're also highly paranoid creatures. So like they have a lot of traps, and they don't trust anybody, especially other beholders. Which is why they probably reproduce the way they do, because they're not going to trust a mate. They're not going to trust somebody who's going to long enough to be around to have any kind of like courting rituals or anything like that. It's just not something that you would see from beholders. Like even dragons can trust each other long enough to reproduce, but beholders are like, nah, that ain't the way we roll here, cuz. And you can see those print lines here and here. That's from a print that the printer probably had some sort of issue with temperature. Right here, see these lines? You can see them kind of all the way around it. And that is kind of normal for 3D printing. It's not a perfect science. You still get the best way to make models is still the old mold way. They come out better. But God, you can get some cool stuff off 3D printers, man. And like it doesn't cost as much to like the home person. Like you could theoretically you could create your own molds and da 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 da. But now you can get on a computer, design a model, and 3D print that sucker, easy peasy, and it doesn't cost you much. Not near what it would used to cost to make models the old way. So you know, wave of the future, but still got some kinks to work out. All right, there we go. In front of that main looking first. Set you down very gently. Get over here to this guy. I think we used a smaller brush for this. It starts off small, starts off with just a few, and then we'll just kind of keep layering them in there, keep the direction going. You can see that whirl there too. Well, maybe not on the 10 or 720p, but there's a little whirl there that's also from the print. The layers on this are much finer, so that's good. But again, that's just the nature of 3D printing because of how it works. You can only dial in the settings so much. It's eventually you're talking about something that builds in layers, so you're gonna see the layers. Heck, a tree is really, really good at making layers, but you can still see the rings in the tree when you cut it down. I'm sure eventually they're gonna be able to move back to something else. Set that system up in a different way. I shouldn't say back, it's probably forward, that's what I really meant to say there. And again, with this technique, it's okay if we make little mistakes. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be that big a deal. You don't actually even see most of this muscle once it's all put together, so it's kind of funny to be even messing with it. as much as I am. But that's just how I roll. And again, we're going to really want to let the highlights we did do a lot of this work for us. So we put that little bit of gray and dark in here. It's going to actually play through for us if we do this right. I keep getting up to the edges of things, but not all the way in it just quite yet. A little allergy issue. Getting snotty. This is letting those brush strokes work in our advantage. Oh, this arm shaking is getting a little crazy. Just kind of keep making these little strikes. Little strikes, little strikes. Let's see. I have to paint one and paint on. I feel better knowing that I can take creative liberty with my color of my beholder. Not anyone was going to stop me in the first place. Not that anyone's, yeah, but no, the cool part about beholders is definitely that you can kind of make your own beholder. Prior to, besides liches and dragons, they're the only other really customizable type of bad guy. From the old school styles of D&D, bugbears were bugbears, and goblins were goblins, and orcs were orcs, and they have some. You can do some stuff with that stuff, and it's gonna be cool, but it's not gonna be like beholders and dragons and other things. Like even a Terrarask, like a Terrarask is just like, it's a force of nature. It doesn't have the kind of intelligence and presence that something like a beholder or a dragon or a lich has. Like a lich obviously is a very powerful wizard, and so he's got some intelligence to him. It's a cunning enemy. It's and a thoughtful enemy. And so they make great big bads. But so do beholders and dragons, because they're also very into the political machinations of things and trying to manipulate and change destinies and that sort of stuff. That's beholder bread and butter right there. Can hear old butt again. Hello, kidder. I'm back, guys. It was a good nap. I love it. The cat's making all sorts of noise back here. Yeah, I'm running for a minute, aren't I? Look at me go. So I'm just kind of bringing these brush strokes again over places that I know are going to be a little bit more hit by the tops of the sun. This is the one that sits like so. Oh, that spasm is crazy. My arm is just like, it's my tricep, I guess. It keeps like vibrating and shaking the whole hand. Kind of annoying, but also a little concerning. Welcome back, Ochre. Glad you got some rest. Yeah. I need to put some more music on. I think we ran out on that program, or that particular broadcast program. I see such strange old school things. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, I need a little bit more work on this. Her. Because we want it to have definition, but it still needs to look like white fur covering it. White with a little hint of golden. Here we go. Some of that's that print ridge. Yeah, that looks better. Now they look more matching. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna silver this up. And then we'll got dry brush this, silver this. Maybe I'll just dry brush this tomorrow. Throw some silver on this today, and then that means all we gotta do tomorrow is come back, wash it, and then work on the face. Just beautiful. That's good stuff. That is good stuff, team. Alright, I'm gonna get out this. I'm actually gonna get out this old nappy. This thing's kind of already beat up, so I don't really care if I'm getting a little crazy with it in some of these sections. I'll come back and smooth it out in a minute. I really want to make sure we're getting all the way underneath some of this stuff. Especially these guys right here. Switch over to this number 1. Big number 1 brown round instead of a spotter. Not that the names of the brushes make all that much difference to people, or the size charts. So like size charts for brushes is so weird, because like this is something I've noticed. Like one size on one company is kind of close to the size on another company, but like one brush maker might consider a /5 to be one size and a /3 to be another, and /4 yeah, where the next company, like their /5 is a whole lot like the /4 of another company. And so you're like, okay, well, what's the actual size of this? And there's supposed to be a standardization, but it doesn't really. It's not exactly as standardized as it should be. Is probably what I'm trying to say. I think it's kind of funny, but I'm sure other people do not. I'm sure that some people get super irritated about it. Me, I just buy brushes that I'm like, hey, I kind of like the way that feels in my hand. At least I did for a long time. When it comes to synthetic brushes, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But I started moving over to Kolinsky's because I have the space to be able to really, take care of brushes and all that stuff. A lot of times my old brushes would be in a kitchen somewhere, so like you don't want to buy really expensive brushes to do that. They're just gonna get torn up. So I didn't buy expensive stuff. But now I have a studio and all that. I have to buy Kolinsky's and keep them around and keep them good. And I just got to keep my kids out of them. They always want to use daddy stuff. I want to play with daddy stuff. Probably because like they know mine's better. They're pretty smart kids, so they're probably like, Dad's got the good stuff. I want to use Dad's stuff. I'm telling you, I hope that my muscle does this thing while I'm on the other camera, so you guys can see it shaking. It's so weird. It happens every now and again. I get these weird spasms in my muscles. Or say it's from not getting enough oxygen because of my throat thing and my asthma. But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's because I don't drink enough water. Honestly. That may just be the old school me talking though. I'm pretty old school. Like, nah, it's just water. I haven't had enough salt, enough potassium. I'll be fine. Drop dead right there. You just kill over. Alright, super excited to have this silver on him. McBeard said, just rub some dirt in it. Right? McBeardly. That's funny. Yeah. Take a salt tablet. That's what they used to tell us for cramps all the time. Oh, just take a salt tablet. It was like a mineral vitamin, and it had like different types of mineral salts and stuff. And it sure as heck would. It'd pop you right back up, man. But, oh, the salt. It was so salty tasting. It tasted so bad. You'd burp it up later, and you'd be like, whoa. Okay. He's all silver now. Must have been love, but it's all silver now. That was a terrible joke. Please don't unsubscribe. Apologize for my bad joke. But we are to the portion of the day where I've got to let this guy sit and dry. So we're going to start the wind down here. Switch our cameras out because it's actually easier to look at this guy from the other camera. There we go. Hi everybody, welcome back to me in my face. Put that up there, that'll be fine. So yeah, this guy's big. He's so big. Get in there. There we go. Push that back a little bit. There we go. And I found the easiest way to put this on is to actually remove this shoulder from Godfrey himself and put this whole other arm piece together and then put it on him. So whenever we get him done, we'll glue all of this together and we'll finally get that shoulder piece into Godfrey that's just been running around for days now. There we go. He's so big you could almost see him before I picked him up. Holy mackerel, I gotta get him like all the way back. It's so big. Thing's huge. Whoa, whoa. It's just massive, massive piece. Yeah, once we get the wash on that silver, that'll help darken that down. And we'll have a better overall look. Super cool. Super cool. Oh, that lion face is gonna look so good. Wow. This model's just insane. It just keeps going. We haven't even gotten to the base. We haven't even talked about it. So crazy. We saw like his arms and his axe. Like we got a lot of stuff to do still in this one. This thing's huge. It's really cool. So anyway, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for everybody coming by today, Mr. McBeardsley and Hikari. Always nice to see you, folks, and cheers to you. I'm going to be back on Monday. You guys have a great weekend, but I'll be back Monday to get back on Godfrey here. And I'm thinking, man, we might have this wrapped up by... the base is going to... I was talking about the base, but it's going to go fast. So the base can go pretty quick. The rest of his stuff is pretty standard looking stuff. The face is definitely going to take the longest, the face of the lion, of all the things we got left to do. So once we get the McBeardsley says, one hell of a project. Yeah, it's definitely has been an adventure. This one's really cool. It's definitely going to go on the highlight reel once I get it in there. I gotta redo my my little intros and exits highlight reels and add this guy in there because he's going to be him, and I think Melania needs to be put in there. She's not on there yet. But we're going to get the good photos from them, and we'll add that to that, and then, yeah, be on to the next project, whatever that happens to be. I think it's Melania, unless you guys get me a whole mess of subscribers in between now and then. Because remember, at 150, we're going to paint this really old school giant. He's going to be a lot of fun at 250. That'll be my back to Warhammer, hopefully, on that stuff. I haven't painted Warhammer live in a while, and like most of the painters are Warhammer people, which is it is what it is. It's pretty cool. But I definitely like that we're not trying to like just be Warhammer. There's so many of those channels that I didn't want to just be Warhammer. I just want to be pieces of Pat paints, anything. Sometimes we paint wooden cats. Why not? Be fun. And the skulls, we'll do those skulls down there probably closer to Halloween. I got two really neat ones. I got one really like a big old fat mariachi skull, and then I got one that's a La Katrina. I love Day of the Dead. It's one of my favorite things, like visually to look at. All right, well, I think that's about it. Hikaru, enjoy your festival. That sounds like a blast, and I hope you get over to that farmer's market, Mr. McBeardsley. And I know I'm gonna have a good time. Doubleheader and projects galore around here. So anyway, that's about all I got for you. You guys have a great day. We're gonna talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Sorry, not tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to you guys on Monday. I'm getting, let's blame it on the old age. Anyway, I'll see you again later.